Hi everyone, so today we are having this awesome show at the Conscious Capitalism Conference, which is happening at New House in LA, and I thought it would be really cool for us to interview and have a moment, share a moment with amazing leaders on this earth, such as Shawn Thompson, Jenny Lewis. We have some are starting to come. We have a whole list of people that we're going to have on right now for the next hour. So stay tuned. We are going to have an awesome show about how conscious capitalists actually create more purpose in their lives and in their businesses in order to be a force for good, in order for their business to be a force for good. It's going to be super exciting. So thanks for joining. See you soon. Hi everyone, so I have here right now with me Jenny Lewis, who is an amazing woman who is also a coach in the truth-finding business, right, for other women as well. We are, as I've mentioned before, at the Conscious Capitalism Conference, and I wanted to shed light a little bit on you and also on the link with you and Conscious Capitalism. So how did you even find this organization?
Well, I moved to LA a few months ago, and
okay, that sounds familiar.
And I have a business coach here, and going to one of her retreats, I met a woman who was very involved with conscious capitalism.
Okay, and it seduced your heart.
And it seduced my heart.
Okay,
it did. Yeah.
Why?
That woman actually created a piece for me to call in my higher self, like my more powerful self, and which I found appealing in starting my new business. And once she created the piece, we presented it to a small group of women from Conscious Capitalism on the east side of LA. And having met those women and hearing how they too were creating their own purposeful businesses, I realized that this was an organization that I wanted to become more involved with. Yeah.
So how do you involve the principles of the Conscious Capitalism pledge, in essence, to your business? How do you think it's going to actually support your business and your life? Because this is not just about business. I mean, it's really about creating a business as a force for good. But you can't just live in the business part. We all live in a full way in our lives with all these principles. So how do you apply it to business?
For me, it's as much about, I apply it to myself as much as I do in sharing it with my clients. It's about living my truth, my integrity, my own work. I was an attorney. I became a life coach because of my own work. I discovered, actually through an awakening that trauma brought me, like life changes often, shift us in ways and allow us to wake up.
Well, it's the hero's journey, right, that we all experience in order to get to the other side and discover that there is more after that crisis.
That's it.
If we really dig deeper. If we choose. Right, which it's a choice.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. And so I chose to find myself in it, which was a great awareness in my own self-worth, a great awareness in my career. Like, I was an attorney. I decided, I don't want to do that anymore. I really want to bring the healing that I found for myself to other women. Also in building my own business, sharing with people what I've learned about money. So as I've grown over the last 3-4 years myself, that is the truth of what I share with other women. I wake them up to their own purpose, to their own integrity, to their own ability to create business, to their own sexuality, which is a big part of my practice as well.
Yes, well, it's a big part of being a woman, right? And I think that in our society, we unfortunately are conditioned as women, or as business women, to not honor that side of us. And I'm sorry if there is a bit of noise in the background, but we have a very active speaking platform over there. But it is absolutely that. It's sexuality, femininity, sensuality, and everything, all the different aspects of being a woman are mostly ignored by the conditioning of the business world. We are taught to stay in a certain way for a long time, not exploring the full spectrum of who we are, and then eventually we get a little stuck, right? I mean, to put it lightly.
It's very true.
Yeah, that's absolutely. And so
we need access to all of ourselves.
Right.
At some point, we just can't grow anymore without access to the truth of us. Yeah.
And we need to make sure that once we've found this permission, once we've permitted ourselves to go there, I think that it's just so beautiful to speak up on that truth, so that we give permission to others to do it the same, and to explore as much, and to just get out of that box. And I always say, round the edges of the box, right? So we become more whole inside, right? So what is your vision?
My vision is to share my own message and to continue to grow. And I do that through my podcast. I do that through group work with women. I do that through one-on-one. To become the biggest box, the biggest woman, the most that I can be, and share that and open and unlock that for other women. A big part of my work is really sharing my stories, not the ones that look good.
Oh no,
the ones that are really like gritty and hard, and that
about
truth,
courage and resilience and grit,
so
and
important.
what it took for us to get to this point, because the image we might portray is not really about the story we've experienced to get there, right?
It's so true. Yeah. And that's what I do, and I want women to be proud of their experience, to know that they are courageous already, and to really be themselves, their most authentic self, and trust that the world will receive them in that.
Beautiful, thank you. Where can people find you?
I'm at jlulive.com. That website will be up soon. You can find my podcast there. You can find access to the coaching programs that I provide. You can have access to me, my blog.
You have access to Jenny.
You do.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us
My
today,
pleasure.
and thank you for being part of this awesome organization. And I can't wait to chat more. So
my pleasure.
More to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are now with Lisa Berkovitz, a beautiful soul who actually introduced our group this morning to our day with a beautiful meditation. So this meditation was very short and yet very powerful. You were saying words that were very cohesive to my beliefs. And one of the things you said was that you were creating a space of coherence, which I would love for you to shed a little bit more light on, and also tell us exactly, about your company and how do you bring all these principles to the business world.
Thank you so much. Yes. So this morning I'll start with your first question about coherence.
Because there's so much to say.
Yeah, there's so much to say. In the space of coherence, my intention with the meditation this morning was to really bring everybody present and grounded. Thank you. And the coherence was really about, we're not operating in silos, first of all. We are here to be in coherence with ourselves. So too much mental activity creates a separation from the essence of us, the deeper part of us that knows why we're here, knows our purpose, knows what the next aligned steps are to take. I always say the soul always knows. So you could say the heart always knows. I use soul language, but there are many ways to say it. And so for me, that coherence is first coherence with self, center, ground, get connected inside, be intentional. Why are you here today? And then be aware of the people around, and that we're here together.
Interdependent.
Yes.
We are not independent.
Not at all.
Exactly.
Not at all. So to be aware, this day, having the most wonderful experience today means we get to connect with the right people and have the right conversations to move our purpose and mission forward.
Absolutely.
So that was...
And so, of course, we are at this conference about purpose and profit, and how do we bring all of that together? How do we bring a conscious leadership type form of leadership to a business, to businesses in general, and how does that transform the world? How does that impact the world to create a force for the greater good, right? So one of the things I wanted to speak with you about is, how do you bring spirituality to the business world, and not make it such a separate entity, because as we experience, a lot of people's beliefs is that spirituality is on one side, oh, it's woo-woo, and and business and capitalism and leadership is on the other. And in my opinion, it couldn't be further from the truth. However, we have experts now, like you, shedding more light on that and really proving to the business world that there is a direct link. Not only is there a direct link, but it does improve your bottom line.
Without a doubt. So you're really speaking my language. The integration of spirituality and business for me is the future of work and the future of our economy.
Absolutely.
We do better business. We take care of each other better. So in the way that I think about it, spirituality can be called, like I said before, I say soul, you could say heart, you could say purpose. These principles are universal. So being present, being aware, being connected, being caring, like these principles of, they're spiritual principles.
They are.
They're at the essence of it, whatever you call it. Love leading business, soul leading business. In my business, I say let soul lead, right?
Yes.
So being deeply connected with yourself, being in your own alignment, knowing that the steps that you're taking are an expression of what matters most to you. It's a ripple effect on everybody.
Exactly.
Creates a culture in a company, creates creative ideas. It reduces, it increases engagement, it reduces,
and it builds trust.
Absolutely.
Between the stakeholders and the company employees. I mean, it's endless. It's limitless.
It's limitless, and I would say at the heart of it, purpose is spirituality. Having a purpose, having an individual purpose, and having a company purpose is the essence of spirituality. To me, that's the soul speaking.
Yes,
the reason you feel you're here.
And I think that you touched on a point that's actually quite relevant, in that it's a question of language. Language can be such a vehicle for good and for amazing communication, but it also can create some kind of barrier. And sometimes language used in a way that others can't really fully receive, because they told themselves they shouldn't be or don't want to be spiritual, then you use different words with them to reach them, right? So how can people, if you had a quick recommendation to finish our time together, how would you suggest people connect with their purpose? Because some think that they don't have one. In fact, it's untrue. Everyone has a purpose if they really spend their time connecting with their heart or their soul. How would you recommend that to those people?
What brings you alive?
Perfect.
Bottom line.
What lights you up?
What lights you up?
Right?
What brings you alive?
Exactly.
What feels like joy? What could you do every day? That was my intention with my own business, was how could I get paid to do what I would be doing anyway every day?
That's right.
Because
exactly.
if I had all the money and all the time in the world, how would I spend my time?
Would I still do what I'm doing? Absolutely.
Yep.
And the answer is yes, yes. That's it. Done.
And we have too many beliefs, right? The common thinking
That's
is
right.
you can't get paid to do what you love. That's too easy. It doesn't, you can't.
Yeah.
And I guess that's my mission, is to break that belief. That actually you can do exactly what you love and make a thriving living, and that's how it's supposed to be.
And money is part of spirituality, by the way. So
absolutely. Fantastic tool for doing good.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you so much. We are done. Thanks.
Yay.
Bye. Bye. So everyone, we have now Shawn Thompson, who is an amazing individual on so many levels. One, you are a world champion in surfing. Just that is amazing. I would love to spend more time on that, but I want to spend even more time on what brought you from surfing and the world of athletics to doing this work today that you do. I saw this video where you are impacting kids in South Africa, and you're doing a lot of conscious leadership. I mean, of course, we are here at the Conscious Capitalism conference, so maybe you can start by sharing a little bit of your bubble, your world, and how all of this is connected.
So when I was a surfer, I always felt that surfers had a responsibility to, in some ways, protect and give back to the ocean, because we've all had this amazing experience from catching these incredible waves, and I built a whole life around surfing. I created companies and won the world title, and just had an amazing life. through surfing. So my first substantial involvement in consciousness and in purposeful living was in 1984, a long, long time ago, when a guy phoned me
It's
up
not
and
that
he said,
long ago. Let's not
said,
make it.
He said he wanted to start a surfing organization that was going to protect the world's waves, oceans, and beaches. There was a particular environmental issue at Malibu, which is one of the most famous waves in the world, an iconic wave. And he said that it's going to be called Surfrider Foundation, and he wanted me to become the first ambassador. And I said, sure, I'll even get you a photo, and I'll write the copy for your first ad. The fundamental maneuver in surfing, it's a dramatic change of direction. They call it a turn. So the copy that I wrote was "Do a good turn," and it was a picture of me doing this maneuver. So it had that metaphor. It had that double entendre. So I was involved with Surfrider Foundation since 1984. I've been on the board. So that organization really, I think, piqued my interest in how important it is for us to give back and do positive, try to do something positive, try to do a good turn. And then after I retired from pro surfing, my wife and I started a wonderful company. I'd worked at Patagonia for a couple of years, running their apparel division. And I learned a lot from Yvon Chouinard and his wife about environmental sustainability and about community engagement and about just trying to do good business by doing good. So we started our company, and we built a nice successful company called Solitude. This is one of our great old
Solitude.
shirts. Solitude.
Is it still
No,
alive?
we sold it in
These are the
2006. These are some of the best pieces that my wife designed. She was the designer
awesome.
that I kept. So, in our company, we tried to be sustainable before it was even a word. We tried to use environmentally friendly fabrics. We tried to just do the right thing.
Right.
From my involvement with Surfrider and my involvement with Patagonia.
And how did you hear about conscious capitalism?
So after we sold our company, we lost our beautiful son. He was 15 to a tragic accident. And my wife and our lives moved in a different direction. And we really became focused on helping people, not just to help people, but to help ourselves as well. We found that through that grief process, it's very self-affirming.
Enriching in some way.
It's like putting ointment on the broken heart. That's what we found it was like. So the more we worked with young people and the more we worked for social causes, we found it was better
elevating
for us. It was elevating, yeah.
Right.
So I started doing a lot of work with kids and large organizations. Like I went back to grad school to study leadership. Like, how can people influence others in a positive way to reach a collective goal? How can you inspire and influence others? That's the key aspect of leadership. And I found, wow, there are these enlightened people around the world who are using business to really promote social change, to promote positive social change. And yes, it's not just about profit, sales, and growth, but it's about profit, sales, growth, and purpose.
Exactly.
It's about creating social impact at a community level, at an environmental level. So after I was at grad school, I did a lot of research, and I found that all of us have great power. And when I started working with kids and companies, I found that it's really simple. Simple way to influence people is by just giving them a little tool so they can influence themselves and they can influence their peers and they can influence their
create
family.
That ripple effect.
Just create, drop a stone, create a ripple, build a wave.
Absolutely.
Drop a stone, create a ripple. And for me, it was built around this simple code that I developed, 12 lines. Every line begins with I will. I will equals power. It's called the code equation. I will equals power. I will equals, and I get hundreds of thousands of kids chanting this. I will equals power.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I saw
it just creates this upliftment.
It's a mantra. It's a personal mantra.
It's a 12-line mantra of commitment to action.
Absolutely.
Because purpose without commitment is nothing.
Absolutely.
It's got to be a commitment to
take action.
Yeah,
it's one thing to have a great vision and there are people who have amazing dreams and amazing vision yet have trouble implementing the steps and taking action and actually creating that change. So it's crucial.
So I found that writing down your purpose, defining your purpose in 12 lines is really simple for people to do. And once you've defined your purpose, then you can particularly set your goals. So I've been working with a number of universities, Rotterdam Business School, which is one of the top business schools in Europe, with Claremont Graduate University here, the positive psychology departments, about how to really collaborate and amplify the system so we can get millions and millions of people sharing their codes, sharing their positive purpose, influencing others, and creating this positive wave that goes around the world. Because what it does, it's not only a statement about self, it's a statement about best self. And when you reveal your best self, you engage with other people and you find that their best self is like your best self, and it creates this amazing engagement.
Synergy.
Yeah, it creates this amazing synergy. And you know, I do this process with hundreds of thousands of people, and everyone makes a different commitment, a 12-line commitment, but every commitment's the same. People realize that while they're all different, they're all the same. And I get people to verbalize it and read it to one another. You know, I might have 40 top executives of a $100 billion company, and they'll get together and they'll state their purpose in front of their peers, and then everyone picks one line. So if you have 30 people, at the end of it you'll have one line that those 30 lines represent the collective purpose of the organization, of the selves, and the selves are the organization. Because an organization is not separate.
It's all interdependent.
Totally, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
and so they can actually surf that wave of purpose together.
Well, and
all about the wave.
Totally. And then that wave goes right through the organization. And like my intervention is just
contagious.
a 3-hour, it's totally contagious. Through that process of emotional contagion, there have been many studies with Facebook, National Academy of Sciences, Yale, how emotional contagion can be transmitted like a wave through an organization.
It is a wave of energy. Love is a wave of energy. It's actually the strongest wave of energy in the universe. Thank you so much for being here today.
No,
it's
it was
amazing.
great. No, thanks for having me, and it's been so much fun. Thank you.
Where can people find you?
Just you can go to my website, ShawnThompson.com.
Okay.
It's TOMSON. And you know, for everyone that's listening, you want to create positive change, 12 lines. Every line begins with I will, and write the code in 30 minutes. It's your code, not my code. It's your code. I will equals power. I will equals power.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. So now we have this amazing soul, Laura Hertz. Laura and David own Sky Source, and it's an organization I just discovered today. What amazes me more is the purpose that they have, which is to transform literally air into water. I mean, it's beautiful and it's necessary, and it's just so revolutionary. With this technology, you can change the world, this planet.
Yeah, we can definitely help. We can definitely be a part of the solution.
You can be a huge part of the solution.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more how you guys actually got into this, and how did you, I mean, I know your husband has always been into this, he's an engineer.
He's an architect. And he's a pioneer in sustainable building. And so he was one of the forefathers of, using sustainable practices in building and architecture.
Right.
And he was able to solve many problems and issues with building, and except water was always a problem. And he was always searching for his place in the built environment and how his impact affected, the planet. And so he was always trying to find solutions, and water was always a big solution that he could never find an answer to or solve.
Especially here in California.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a native Californian, as am I, and we both lived through many droughts, and we understand water scarcity and water conservation, but a lot of people that move to California don't really understand it, or even know that, we live in a desert, basically, and water doesn't really belong here. We brought water here. And so he wanted to basically learn how to, lessen the impact through building. And finally, 30 years later, he discovered this technology called atmospheric water generation. And it's this particular technology uses an adiabatic distillation process, which is basically taking when you have a glass of water and it sits on a hot day with ice, and the ice just kind of melts, and then the whole glass sweats. You imagine that times a bazillion, and that's what you're getting this clean, fresh water that we can drink, and it's coming from the air. So, and you're not usurping groundwater, and the hydrologic cycle is every 7 days. So you're getting fresh water every 7 days. It's replenishing itself. So we were like, hey, this is cool. We're on to something. And we joined forces, and our one main goal was to be very mission driven and to get this water to people who were not going to ever have access to it. And so that's our main priority.
And so is your main priority then to bring people in remote locations in the world that technology, or?
That's one of them.
One of them, okay.
Yes, but when you look at Los Angeles has towns that are underserved, and they have really bad water. And so even in our own backyard, we need to solve problems that that are all around water quality,
right,
and not necessarily.
Is tap water a water we should be able to drink in LA, or
in Los Angeles? Yeah,
it depends
for us,
where.
For us, there are underserved communities in Los Angeles that have lead in their. It's not the water; it's the old pipes.
I totally get that. Yeah,
and they're the last ones to get. Which drives me crazy, but it's like, why? They should be first, and so they're getting, like I said, they're underserved, and so, we feel a strong responsibility to reach out and get water to communities such as that, and also globally. That's important as well.
So how are you going to do that? How are you going to actually bring that water or that technology to those who are underfunded or underserviced in the world, including the places in LA? How do you think you're going to be able to do that?
Well, so basically, when we first started out, it was a very small experiment in Venice Beach, California, and we had been making so much water. We made over 150 gallons during the summer in 24 hours, and so we can't use all
24 hours. That's insane.
We can make in the summer months we can make 150 gallons with our machine that only makes 150 gallons. We also have a machine that makes 300 gallons, and if we had the 300 gallon in Venice, we would be making that as well. But we decided when we first discovered the technology, let's buy this Skywater 150, and we bought it, and it made water. And so we thought, well, what are we going to do with all this water? And then it was one of the worst droughts, and it was 2015, and no one had water on the beach, and the homeless people didn't have access to clean water. And we thought, let's just hook up a bottle filling station, design street art around it, and get people coming to what we call the Wall of Water on Horizon Court in Venice. You can still visit it to this day. It still exists, and it's open 24/7. So that was our first experiment, completely funded by ourselves, and it worked. And it worked way better than what it was a miracle. It really was.
I mean, it does sound like a miracle.
Yeah, and it worked better than what we even had ever imagined. And
how big is that machine?
Well, the Skywater 150 is the size of like a smart car.
Okay.
So they're not huge, but they're not small where you can just carry them around. They're big machines.
Okay. So is your strategy to reach out to who exactly? Communities or or corporates or
Well, everyone needs water, right?
Absolutely.
So we want to start with communities that are underserved, but at the same time, we know that we have the ability to reach out to major corporations, government agencies, cities, anyone.
It sounds like it's so
schools,
unlimited that
the sky's the limit.
I would be challenged by even deciding of a few avenues.
Right. That was our problem. And it was a good problem to have.
It is a good problem.
But when we enter,
still, you need to you didn't create this to sit and. So
what happened was we decided to enter the XPrize competition, the Water Abundance XPrize competition, and we thought we had a really good chance to win. But we weren't sure. You don't know who else you're competing against, and so we entered and we won. Yay! And so, yay! Thanks. Yeah, we did a lot of dances.
Oh yeah, you should. I'd say you should.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to develop this whole? Because when you did the dancing, the story was how long?
Yeah,
That's not bad,
and it was a
though.
really
That's
fast
pretty
competition
good.
for XPrize.
A year and a half
Yeah.
for the competition, but how long has it taken you to develop this technology, create the machine?
Well, the technology, the atmospheric water generator, that company had been around for 10 years.
Okay.
And so they had already been, proven in
Okay.
the Middle East
Right.
and all around. We
Right.
just discovered their technology.
Okay.
And then for the XPrize, we married two technologies, one being the water, the atmospheric water generating machine, and the other technology is a biomass gasification machine.
Okay.
And so that was, we had to, the parameters of the XPrize in order to win, you had to make 300 gallons of water, 1,000 liters of water in 24 hours for 2 cents a liter. And we made 1,000 liters in 24 hours at half a cent.
I was just gonna say, it sounds like piece of cake according to what I was sensing you had.
Yeah.
So,
It was,
wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that biomass gasification was the perfect marriage for us, because if you would have used solar, which is a great avenue for energy,
yeah.
but it wouldn't really win us the prize because you need that extra punch for the compression
Right.
in the machine.
Right. Amazing.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's incredible.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's wrap this up and tell me, how are you going to move forward right now? How do you apply this amazing technology to serve in a way that is purposeful for you
Right.
in terms of what serves your heart?
Right. So now with XPrize, we've gained a lot more recognition, and we have a platform, and
yeah.
we're inspiring people, and we're inspired, and so we're in a completely different world now because people are listening and they're hearing us.
The dancing worked.
The dancing worked like a charm. So now we've been approached by so many people from all over the world, and we're responding to every email, every inquiry, and we're definitely going down every single avenue that we can.
Exploring,
Yeah,
weighing it
and-
out.
Yeah, and we're taking the money that we won to further our research and development. We're productizing an apparatus called the We Do, and so basically what's happening is we're trying to create a deployable unit that during disaster relief is a really big deal for us.
Right.
And so we want to get this machine deployed to areas hit by hurricanes,
Yeah.
earthquakes,
Disasters.
Yeah,
Disaster
we
zones, yeah.
find that that's like probably the most imperative and important goal right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Interesting. That's
the life's work is, it's a long road, and we're on it. We're dancing down that road.
Dancing
All the way
down the
down,
road.
yeah.
Well, let's finish on that note. That's a beautiful
Sounds
way to
good,
finish.
yeah.
Is dancing on that road.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
good luck. And
Thank you,
it's
Tatiana.
not really luck. I don't believe in luck.
Yeah.
It's an expression. But let me just send you a lot of
Thank you.
light
Thank you.
and love, and I'm sure we'll reconnect. But thank you for being part of this, and amazing work.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. This was great.
It's just so heartwarming.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So now we have Yana Simone, who is, you are the CEO of New Earth?
Yes.
And so New Earth is, tell us a little bit more about New Earth. Yes, you can.
Sure. I can use the microphone now.
She's like feeling all.
I'm feeling microphones. So New Earth is a nonprofit organization, and we work with young people that are coming out of and are inside of the juvenile justice system. So basically kids that are locked up in jail, and we provide programs and services to them when they're incarcerated, and then we also have a center in Culver City that they can come to get jobs, education, therapy, arts programs,
Wow,
and all
that's
kinds of
amazing.
different services.
How long has this been going on?
Since 2004, so almost 15 years.
Wow.
15 years next year.
That's amazing. So have you always been part of Conscious Capitalism? What's the link here?
Sure, yeah. So actually my background, interestingly enough, I do come from the beauty industry.
Okay.
I used to work in skincare and marketing and product development, and I always wanted to do something that had purpose. Unfortunately, with a lot of skincare companies or beauty companies, I used to call them goop in a bottle. It was goop in a
Yes,
bottle, and that's it.
Exactly.
And so I actually, my husband, who is the co-founder of New Earth, and our spokesperson, basically came up with the idea And I started working with him back in 2004, quit my job, and just really started developing this incredible company, taking a lot of the things that I learned from the consumer products industry and bringing it into the nonprofit world. And so really creating passion and purpose inside of our company. And we've developed a social enterprise that's embedded in our company, which basically is a service-based social enterprise. We provide digital media services, marketing and remote camera operations and graphic design and social media to businesses, so it's a B2B.
Right.
And then we hire young people that are coming out of the probation camps and are in our centers. So they get a new lease on life, they get a job opportunity, they get great training in high yield fields, and then we provide services, so we're able to basically bill like any other business would and build our business up that way.
Amazing. So are you linked then to some of the can't pronounce that word in English, judicial
system,
so in that they would recommend your organization so that they
So kind of what I was talking about earlier in the stakeholder activation piece is really connecting with all the stakeholders that are in the county, probation, the county agencies, DPSS.
That must have taken a lot of your time
DCFS,
and effort to
it
ensure
has, 15
that
years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but really understanding that business is a delicate ecosystem, and that you have so many stakeholders, whether you're a for-profit or a nonprofit, and really understanding who are the stakeholders in your business, who can you impact. And so that's really kind of what we've been working on for 15 years is understanding that our impact can only go as far as the people we touch. And so if we're working with young people directly, major impact, yes. But then if we can bring in the county, if we can bring in all these agencies and other businesses.
And then it's a help to society because you're actually taking these individuals and forming them to think, act differently in their lives, which will prevent them, hopefully, from going back to jail and perpetuating what they've always probably perpetrated.
Yeah. And we have a 95% success rate.
95%?
So 95% of our kids stay out of jail because of all of these different systems that we've interwoven into their lives. So bringing in stakeholders, bringing in probation officers, bringing in businesses and saying, here's what we're doing with these young people and getting their buy-in.
Of
so
course,
everyone,
well, you have to, so everyone has a take and a way that they know they are creating an impact.
Yes.
What are the ages? Is there a specific
16 to 25 are the ages of the young people that we work with in our center in Culver City, but we would work with kids as young as 13 that are actually incarcerated. So.
And what if someone demonstrates an amazing desire and they're like 27? What happens? Does your heart break?
So, there's not a lot of 27-year-olds that come to us, to be honest.
Okay.
Just because we are, we have a mission. We're a mission-based business.
Right.
And we can't serve everybody.
Right.
So we're very specific in the age category. We're very, we just have a niche. But if there's a 27-year-old that comes to us, we'll refer them to Homeboy Industries, or we'll refer them to ARC. Some of our partners, our other stakeholders.
You're well connected.
Yes. So we don't turn anyone away.
Good to know. That's amazing. Wow, what an amazing world. It sounds like you've created not just an ecosystem, but a world to support these kids who may have just been incarcerated because of unfortunate circumstances. Who knows? But thank you so much for creating such an impact. That's what I call an amazing ripple effect. So thank you so much, Jana, for coming and sharing your story. How can people find you if anyone is interested or has someone they know?
Yes. So our website is newearthlife.org and our phone number is 310-455-2847.
That's amazing. Thank you so much,
You're
Jana, for
welcome.
being here.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing, creating an amazing ripple effect in the world.
Thank you
so
for having
much.
me. All right.